South America was home to powerful civilizations and thriving cultures, yet they were conquered by the Europeans. Why is this? South America has a variation of land. Their environment consists of rainforests, mountains, deserts, and tropics. It is bound by the Caribbean Sea, Atlantic Ocean, and Pacific Ocean. It is divided by the equator, which makes the weather drastically different in certain regions. Since only 6.4% of South America is fertile and suitable for crops to grow, it makes it difficult for societies to live off small amounts of farming. The Inca Empire developed crops such as potatoes, quinoa, corn, wild peppers, fruits, tomatoes, and root crops. Although they did have success with these crops, they did not have domestic animals to farm. The only domesticable species they had was the llama, alpaca, and guinea pig. Llama meat and wool were highly prized. The llama was not necessarily helpful to the people of South America because it could not carry large loads or pull farming machinery. Alligators were the main predator to these animals. South Americans had very little technology. They built cisterns and irrigation tunnels to drain water. Since a large area of the land is mountainous, they had to carve parts of mountains out to create flat land to increase surface area for terracing. They also used variations of stones to create water retention and drainage systems. It wasn't until the Battle of Cajamarca when almost 50% of the original population died. When the Spanish came over, they carried diseases with them that the native people weren't immune to. Most of these diseases were carried by domestic animals. The Spanish were immune to these diseases because they had been exposed to domestic animals since childhood, which meant they had evolved to it. Since South Americans had not yet seen a broad amount of domestic animals, they became sick. Diseases such as malaria and smallpox wiped out nearly half of the population. One of the biggest empires that inhabited the area was the Inca Empire. The Inca Empire had a highly organized and modern government. It was divided into 4 quarters. Each quarter was run by government officials. The Inca created a hierarchy system which led them to be very successful. The Cajamarca battle was one of the most prominent battles in South America. It occurred on November 16, 1532. 169 Spanish soldiers fought against an army of 80,000 Inca soldiers. Within 10 minutes, nearly 7,000 Inca soldiers had died, with not a single Spanish soldier down. The reason the Spanish had such a big advantage over the Incas was because they had horses, guns, and weaponry such as steel. When the Spanish took over, they changed nearly everything. They brought native foods from Europe, such as chocolate, sugar, and peanuts. They brought livestock, such as cattle, sheep, pigs, and horses. Overall, I would give South America a C. They had a moderate environment which only led them to be able to grow limited crops. Although they had an organized government, they did not have modern technology to help them fight in battles. Since they lacked in domestic animals, this was a major setback for South America. This limited them not only with food but with other resources as well.